All right, just make sure you hit the little OK button on the recording, and let's start diving into today's lesson. Today we're going to be talking about emotion baiting. Emotion baiting, long story short, is my version of market sophistication with introducing new mechanisms. And while market sophistication sounds sexy, it just doesn't really do well from like a high level like advertising perspective. So I created my own version of it, which was just giving a new name to something that we all know. And all I did was call it something new. And this has worked really well for me in terms of being able to capture people's attention who've lost hope in having success with Facebook ads. And today we're going to be talking about how to actually create your own emotion baiting angle for your product and why does it make it so successful? Like, why does it work so well? And this goes back again to market sophistication. And I know we've already done a call on market sophistication. I'll briefly touch on market sophistication really quick before we go into the motion baiting. And I'm actually going to live build or have homework for you guys in this call where every person's going to create their own emotion baiting angle on this call today before we hop out. So I'm going to share my screen, dive into this. All right, let's see. Give it a second. Also, just drop a message in the chat if it gets super laggy. I don't really know how good the Wi-Fi is here at this Airbnb. So if it gets really bad, just let me know. So that way I'm not just sitting here talking. It's like glitching out for you guys. So let's just go over this real quick. We're just going to touch on market sophistication for a second really quick. For those who are new in the group and just hasn't like really discovered market sophistication yet, the whole goal with market sophistication is separating yourself in the marketplace. It's what I would say it's if you're playing chess, it's always being one step ahead of your competition. When I originally teach like market sophistication and like in the course and everything, you start to identify the level of market sophistication. It's like, okay, cool. Hey, everyone's introducing new mechanisms. Then it's like, I need to call it the same mechanism, or like it's a stage one or stage two. And people tend to make the mistake of playing at that stage one or stage two of what their market is. So the way we look at market sophistication is, hey, everyone's failed at something. And we want to stay one step ahead of our competition and being different from our competition. So a lot of you guys, this is kind of what like your audience sees. Everyone sees this right here. They see a whole bunch of ads just saying lose fat. All right. And it becomes really difficult to understand of who to go with. If every single person's here's how to lose fat, here's how to lose fat, here's how to lose fat, and you're saying the same thing, what happens is you lose that believability, you lose that trust, and there's nothing that's separating you from everyone else. So people just, to be fair, people just randomly make a purchase of a random brand because it's like, all right, hey, everyone's saying the same thing. I'm just going to go with this one. Now, market sophistication is all about staying one step ahead of the competition. So if you go look at all your competition and all of your competition saying is lose fat, for example, then what I want to do is be one step ahead. So the whole market's a stage one sophistication. So let's go out of stage two. How do you identify what stage you're at? Easiest way is just go look at all your competitors' Facebook ad libraries. That's the easiest way to do it. And then what you want to do is you want to stay one step ahead. So for me in this example right here, lose 18 pounds in 4 weeks. We stayed one step ahead of the competition. If everyone's saying lose fat, we're going to say lose 18 pounds in 4 weeks. Now, just quick little disclaimer, this is purely just an example. And if you actually say lose 18 pounds in 4 weeks, you will get banned on Facebook. So just want to be clear here on that real quick. If I was going to run this as a Facebook ad right here, I would run this as a testimonial style. That's the one trick with health and stuff like that. If you run a testimonial, I could have Ginger, who's a mom, who just had a baby, and here's her story on how she lost 18 pounds in 4 weeks. And I'll make sure to put a disclaimer in there saying that this is not the typical result. That's how I can kind of get past it. But again, it has to be as a testimonial. That's the key thing right there. But if I run this as an ad, like, take this supplement, lose 18 pounds in 4 weeks, that will get you banned on Facebook because Facebook does not like certain time frames. You could say reduce your weight in 4 weeks, or you could say lose 18 pounds, but you can't give a time frame and a certain number in a certain time. So just want to give that clarity real quick. That's mostly just for weight loss. So I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. Now, the problem with this is that, again, when everyone goes to copying you basically, because you're really good at your job, let me give you a great example. A lot of you guys who follow my YouTube channel, I started talking about marketing fundamentals before a lot of other gurus, at least from my perception. And now over the last year on Twitter, almost every marketing person now is talking about marketing fundamentals. Back in 2022, it was all CBO, broad, one campaign. That was like the new discovery. Everyone was talking about that. I even was talking a lot about it. Then in 2023, I realized everyone was talking about that. So I hurried and jumped to marketing fundamentals before everyone else. Now, 2024, literally every single person is like starting to talk about desire, awareness, sophistication, all that. So now it's like, all right, how do I stay that next level? And that's why I'm introducing my new mechanism, which is emotion baiting. So now everyone's saying the same thing. What do? We go into that emotion baiting, which is just simply a stage 3 market sophistication, introducing a new mechanism. The reason why I call emotion baiting is because when they failed at everything else, we're introducing a new hope. We're putting those emotions really high up. Shit, what's that? I never discovered that before. I don't know if you guys have ever especially a lot of y'all have had times in your life where you're running Facebook ads, and those periods of time where you didn't really know how to run the ads. You had a lot of days you were losing money. You felt lost. You didn't really know what to do next. You kind of felt lost and hopeless for a period of time, but yet the desire to scale at Facebook ads was still there. And then maybe, just maybe, you clicked on one of my videos, you learned this new strategy and this new way to look at ads, and you felt hopeful again. You felt some confidence of achieving that result again. We got you into an emotional state, and we kind of put you to that, hyped up your emotions a little bit, oh shit, wait, this is it. This is what I've been missing. And then you feel all hyped up again. You feel in a positive state, and then you go try that thing. So that's essentially what we're doing here. Now, the way we're doing it is we're calling out the mechanism, then we're calling out what the mechanism does. So in this particular case, we're not saying lose 18 pounds in 4 weeks anymore. We're saying the first wonder drug, the name of the mechanism, then we're calling out the benefit or the problem it solves or the desire it satisfies. And that's why it's introducing that new. Oh, what is this? This is something new. I've never heard of this before. And it gets you hyped up again. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over emotion baiting, and we're going to actually work on, my whole goal of today's call is everyone to have at least one hook by the end of the call that is an emotion baiting style hook of introducing a new mechanism. I'm not really concerned about what stage of market sophistication is. I just want to get everyone a kind of guide of making sure it's implemented in their business by the day, because we've seen some really amazing success with this if it's done properly. So again, instilling new hope into customers by purely calling out something that they've never heard of before. That's the key thing right there. They've never heard it before. And we're calling out what they want, or the problem they're trying to solve, or the benefit they're trying to obtain. So, again, here's how emotion baiting allowed us to scale our Shopify store from 30K a month to 30K a day. All right. I think that was the real idea, and it blew up, worked really well. We also leveraged that into some ads as well with the same hook style, but we did it with, the nature of those types of products, and it worked extremely well. Why? Because it's something new they've never heard of before with something they want. It spiked that hope again. It's oh shit, that's why I've been failing at this, because I haven't discovered this. And that's really what we want to hit on people's minds. So obviously we're going to go over some hook examples, and then we're going to start into actually getting some hooks done for you guys. So here's an example really quick. Emotion baiting has allowed me to find 3 times more winning ads. This is a good one right here that I actually replicated. POV, she used to leave you on red, and now she texts you nonstop because you learned dopamine texting. So if I've never heard of dopamine texting before, and I was struggling with getting girls to reply back to me, for example, I saw this, that would spike my attention and be wait, what is this? Okay, let's go back to our 3 key things for a hook. 3 key things for a hook: it calls out your ideal customer, it sparks curiosity, and it implies a benefit. So here we're calling out our ideal customer, basically a guy struggling with girls. Now, I don't say, hey, you're struggling with girls. I'm just simply describing the problem that we're solving. And that problem is specific to a type of customer. The next thing is I'm spiking curiosity. So she used to leave you on red. Now she texts you nonstop because you learned dopamine texting. First thing I want to know is, what is dopamine texting? What is that? So I'm spiking curiosity for me to want to know more. That's also why emotion baiting and introducing a new mechanism works so well, because you're creating curiosity by showing something new they never heard before. So just by saying that something new they haven't before, that strikes that curiosity. Now, if you call out something they've all heard of, if every single other person was leveraging dopamine texting in the pickup world, for example, it wouldn't make yours special, because everyone would be I don't know what that is. But if we introduce a new mechanism, so maybe go the brick texting method, for example, oh, what the hell is the brick texting method? And then that's how we're just renaming it again. So sometimes you might have to rename your mechanism a couple times, because people start to copy you, or people start to replicate the same mechanism in their business. Now, another example, hydrogen water, the secret water that bodybuilders are using to get 10 times more pumps in the gym. Just calling out something new, hydrogen water. No one else is promoting it. The secret water bodybuilders are using to get 10 times more pumps in the gym, calling out what people want, more pumps in the gym. This hidden strategy is getting clients as soon as 3 times more winning ads. Now, this one right here, I just want to be cautious about this one right here, because while this does work well, it can get overused very quickly. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the I fired my marketing team, so here's the best ad I can create type of ad that some brands have used, where like they just go in like Canva or like Microsoft Paint and just make like a buy my product type of stuff. Like that was cool for like 2 brands, but then now like every brand started doing it, and then now it's just like cool, like it's just no more anymore. So that's the same thing with this type of hook right there. If you just say like this hidden industry or like this does this, it can work well, but also too, if everyone starts doing it in your niche, then it's just like blah. It doesn't really work that well anymore. Even like POV, for example, there's been a lot of people, like I've been seeing a lot more brands using POV. I even started seeing like comments on some of the ads saying like literally everything's a POV now. That can also kind of like push users away, because it's just like, oh, I've seen this 100 times right there. Next one, I closed a $7,500 web design project using the screening method. Here's how. I've never heard of the screening method. What is the screening method? It's driving that curiosity, especially if someone who wants to close better clients with their business. They've already learned normal outreach methods, so we have to introduce a whole new outreach method to close larger clients. That's the screening method right here. And then here's another one, again, that's basically hinting at introducing a new mechanism, where we're calling out something they're doing, and then we're just showcasing do this instead, and then we'll introduce a new mechanism right there. So these are a couple different hooks. Now we're actually going to look at naming the process, because again, key goal for today is that everyone leaves with a hook that names their unique mechanism in their business. So first things first, we're gonna just look at like, for example, me. So how I did mine. I run Facebook ads and get better results than our competitors. That's like what I do. That's my thing. So how do we get better results than our competitors? We put more emphasis on the creative, as the creative gets people emotional and want to buy. So then I look at, all right, this kind of like how for our business is what I'm gonna name that process. And then I called it emotion baiting. Then all I do is call up that process name, and then I call out what people want, which is more winning ads in their business. So motion baiting has allowed me to 3x time my winning ads. I could also even swap out other things, like 3 times more winning ads is like super solution aware for people who are looking for more winning ads. Problem aware would be like, here's how motion baiting allowed us to, fix our bad ROAS, for example, or how we like improved our ROAS with this particular emotion baiting. And then like unaware could be like, here's how I scale my Shopify store in a way. We're using emotion baiting right there. So that's kind of the process that we're going to follow for today. So what I want everyone to do is start thinking about right now, what makes them unique? What makes their product unique to competitors in the marketplace? Different process, for example, of how you make your product. Like I know Christina has a different type of cat litter, and she uses a different type of litter material than others. So she has a unique process that makes hers different than the marketplace. I know you have like a completely different type of phone case. Now, the cool thing about like your phone case, for example, Amit, is you already have that unique mechanism, which is what you call it, the material?
Alcantara.
Alcantara. So for you, you're already kind of introducing a new mechanism, which is Alcantara phone cases right there. So what I would challenge you on is you can have some fun with it and call the Alcantara something completely new. And then you can also find a way to like, for example, leather. There's a difference between, or let's use this one as an example, steaks, for example. I don't know if you eat steaks or not, but like you can go get a regular American steak. But have you ever had a Japanese black cow by goose steak? Completely different. So look at your Alcantara as the same thing. Can we give a new like meaning to your Alcantara that makes it just sound better? That's what I would put you on right there. So that's what I want everyone to start off with. And we're gonna take like, let's take like 5 minutes to start diving into this. Does anyone have any questions before we get started? All right.
So
Cool.
is like
Go ahead.
calling Alcantara something different, mostly just so like people are like, "Ooh, what is this?" Or
Because I remember you already showed me you had more competitors now starting to sell Alcantara.
yeah.
So would it make your Alcantara better than them and name that Alcantara?
Okay, I see.
They're selling Alcantara, but you're selling X Alcantara, which is better. All right.
Well, this is gonna be hard.
There you go. And again, look, you don't have to have the perfect name. My goal
Yeah.
right now is just I want you guys to all have a hook that you can leverage to actually go ahead now and actually create an ad from this. So I'll give you all another example too, for those who are struggling. You can also call out a process that you and your competitors all do, but none of the other competitors are pushing. So for example, with cigarettes, back in 1960s, what they did for Lucky Strike was they called it It's Toasted. So toasted cigarettes. They're all toasted cigarettes, but no one was calling out the toasted part, and it made them seem new and different. So go ahead, start writing down, calling out your unique process, giving it a name, and then writing one hook with it. What I'm gonna do for you guys today to make this so much easier for y'all, I find that it's a lot easier to start off with a template. So the template I want you guys to follow today is the POV. She used to leave you on red, and now she texts you nonstop because you learned dopamine texting. So I want you to take this template right here, and I want you to copy it to the hook. I want you to paste it on a Google Doc or a notepad, whatever. Then I want you to write down your unique process. Then I want you to write down your hook, or like the main desire of your market that you're actively pushing at. And then I want you to write down your finalized hook, which is your process plus the desire as the, like the full template, everything put together. And then once you get that done, I want you to put like a 1 in the chat. So that way we can start reviewing them. Chad, y'all have y'all stuff ready? You're sitting over there consuming more protein. And if you have any questions, just unmute yourself and ask, because I want to make sure you guys have this drilled down.
Hey,
Go
this
for it.
is pretty much mechanization, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Well, I got one for Facebook ads.
Okay, give us a second because I don't want to call them up just yet. But if you have it ready, just put a 1 in the chat so that way I know who's all done.
Okay, cool.
And then we're going to call and review on people after. I'll put you guys the templates in a second here of how I want it produced. There you go. So I just dropped the template in the group chat. All right, let's say the group chat, the Zoom chat. That's how I want it done right there. And then, like I said, once you have it done, what I want you to do is go ahead and put a 1 in the chat so I know who's all done. And if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. So make sure this is drilled down.
Nick, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need to call out the audience in there?
That's a good question. So for the audience, it comes down to one, what you're selling, right? There's 2 ways to call out your audience. There's a way to be like super specific, like car owners, here's how to do this. And then there's other ways, which is just simply calling out a problem that only your audience has.
Okay.
Or a solution only your audience wants. Like if you want more winning Facebook ad creatives, is my grandma 60 years old? Is she going to watch that? No, scroll right past it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, we'll go about 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes to get everyone's responses in here. And then we'll spend the last 15 minutes of this call just simply reviewing people's emotion mating hooks. All right, time. Let's go ahead and start going through them. Let's see. I'm just going to start off from the top of the chat and I'm going to scroll down. Let's see if I can make this easier. All right, cool. All right, so Chad's, y'all submitted 2, so I'm just going to use y'all's second one, assuming that's the one that y'all want to use. So let's start off with Yanni. Desire is clean car, interior seamlessly. Unique process, powerful handheld vacuum. Unique process name, vortex effect. POV, she used to freak out about messy car. POV, she used to freak out about your messy car. Now you clean in seconds because you got the vortex effect. It's not bad. You're following the right fundamentals with this one. What I would be looking at is more of that particular desire of her freaking out about your messy car. I would be looking at more of the name itself of the mechanism that you produced. That's my biggest one right there. But other than that, like you're technically correct with this right here. And I would also be looking at she used to freak out about your messy car. I'd be looking at the number of things to solve that freak out of the messy car right there. And also too, because you got the vortex effect, the way you're applying it as effect is like you're applying it as more of like it's a personal characteristic. So I'd be looking at something more like POV, she used to freak out about your messy car, but you discovered vortex and now she can't stop loving you or something like that. Or POV, she used to freak out about your messy car, but you discovered vortex and now she loves to ride in your car. POV, she used to freak out about your messy car. Now you discovered vortex and you keep it clean in seconds. That's another example right there. But yeah, you're on the right thing. It's just the only thing that throws me off is that the way you say you got the vortex effect, it just kind of makes me apply the mechanism as almost like a personal characteristic. That's what kind of throws me off.
Yeah, yeah. I was also like, I'm not a native English speaker, so I was also with the first, the last one with the got or you found. I also thought like, what you discovered the vortex effect or whatever, but I wasn't sure like how to put it. And it also feels like very bulky, like that it's just so long. So I also wasn't like super happy with like when I was reading it out.
Yeah, yeah. And it's also like what you use. She used to freak out about your messy car. I would look at as like, what's the number of like people that share that desire. Maybe you could even do like POV, you don't have time to clean your car, but you discovered vortex, for example. That's another route to go. But like I said, you got the right fundamentals correct. You did the right thing from the fundamentals. I was more just kind of polishing it up a little bit more. All right.
Okay.
Let's go over to Chad's. Let's see. Is that the right one? Yeah. Okay. So the Chads put desire, want more females, unique process, mega pheromone cologne. Okay. So POV used to never get girls until you tried mega pheromone cologne that puts her in the mood all the time. Yeah, that's correct. That's good. It's actually funny because there's a lot of dropshippers actually selling mega pheromone cologne. There's actually been some, because there's been a lot of people kind of selling it and it's been kind of popping up on TikTok. There's also been a lot of people that started to what I would call debunk pheromone cologne. So you could even rewrap it as something completely new. So like give you another example. I saw another guy that's crushing it right now, teaching people how to sell courses. So here's how I made a bunch of money selling courses, and here's how you can make a bunch of money selling courses. So instead of saying source courses, he knows there's a negative nostalgia about courses. So what he calls it now is systems. Here's how to build systems and sell them to businesses. Literally it's the same thing. Of course, all courses is a system on how to get a particular result. Same thing with like broad targeting. There's a lot of like negative around broad targeting of people thinking it's just going to target like a very low end group of people. So what I started to do, and I just never really pushed it, was unrestricted targeting. So it's like, hey, here's how we use unrestricted targeting to improve performance. And so that way we bypass that negative stigma people have about a particular thing. So, but yeah, you guys crushed on that one right there. That's exactly the route to go right there for people who've never heard of mega pheromone cologne. And then for the people that did hear about it, that's all I would do is just change that name. All right. Desire, wanting to look slimmer, unique process, pants built with multi-frame TM tech. POV, stubborn fat ruined your charisma, but now you look 3 pounds slimmer with multi-frame TM. This is good, but I would change the name of your mechanism to something that's a little bit more catchy. That's all I would do. Multi-frame TM, it's not really catchy. That's another thing like we have to look at, like the way you name your mechanisms and stuff, is you want something that's kind of catchy and kind of relates to like what you're going after. But that's the only thing I would tweak right there. Other than that, that's correct in terms of how you did it. All right, let's see. Connor, you want to go and either drop yours or tell us? I think you're on mute again if you're trying to talk.
Oh shit, what's up?
You want to drop your thing? You put a 1 in the chat, so you're saying you're done.
I just did it for myself.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to share it or?
I can show you after.
All right, cool. Let's see. Jen, desire to look good in your clothes. Unique process, wearing a pure of eye-catching designs and statements. Unique process name, connection, couture. POV used to ignore you, but now he can't keep his eyes off of you. So Jen, you're missing your unique mechanism not being called out. You're calling out the desire, but you're not calling out the unique mechanism. So for you, it could be, let's see, POV, he used to ignore you, but you discovered connection, couture. I don't know how I'm pronouncing that completely wrong. And now he can't keep his eyes off of you, for example. All right, Albert, desire to scale your ads, unique process, ads that convert, unique process name, differentiation. POV use differentiation to scale your ads to 100K a day. Yeah, that's correct. You're introducing a whole new process name. It kind of reminds me of creative diversity in the account. That's kind of what it reminds me of, that particular name. And we see every time someone talks about creative diversity, everyone's like, oh, what is this? How do you do this?
Cool, thanks.
All right, let's see. Amit, look unique and stylish, get compliments, get noticed. Unique process, it's how you made supercar leather. Bro, that's just on Alcantara. POV, you got this handcrafted Italian supercar leather phone case, and now you're tired of the nonstop compliments. I really like how you're using the negative of a desire being accomplished right there. You're tired of the nonstop compliments. I love that one a lot. This is one of those things where it's like long as shit. You got this Italian supercar leather phone case.
Yeah, maybe like the Alcantara part is like hard to just kind of figure out what else to call it.
Maybe it's like POV discovered these Italian-made Alcantara phone cases, and now you're tired of the nonstop compliments. All right, Alonzo, desire is having amazing anime decoration. Unique process, we find the best designs in the world and print them in acrylic with high printing techniques. Unique process name, custom PC anime art, or T custom PC anime art. POV used to have an ugly wall due to paper posters, and now your room is like a museum because you have T custom anime art in your walls. Okay, this is good. Let me give you some other advice though on this one. Number one, museum, it makes me immediately think of old and bland. It doesn't make me think of like fun and stuff like that. So
Okay.
just want to call that out. Also too, dude, I don't know how many other people are pushing acrylics because you are pushing acrylic anime art. Your unique mechanism is literally just acrylics as well. So if no one else is really pushing acrylics in their advertising, that could be something that separates you as well. Maybe there is
Okay.
other people pushing acrylics, but maybe you're the only person doing acrylic anime art. So
Yes.
you could say acrylic anime art as your thing.
Okay.
So, but good stuff. All right, Levi, unique process, creative that can hold up. Desire, scale, Shopify stores, creatives that convert, unique process name, empathetic storytelling. Ooh, I love that one. Love that one a lot. Obviously, I'm going to have a more bias to anyone that's talking about like creatives that convert and scale Shopify stores because I know that niche so well. POV, you learn an empathetic storytelling. Now your store does 50K days. You can also change the desire for like a more sophisticated audience of people that want Facebook ad creatives that convert. POV, you learn empathetic storytelling, and now you get more winning Facebook ads, or now you get 3 times more winning Facebook ads. All right, let's see. Paul, keep your dog dry and comfortable. Unique process, raincoats that pets love wearing. Unique process name, breathe easy, soft touch. POV, your dog once hated wearing raincoats on rainy days, but now thanks to Breathe Easy Soft Touch, they can't wait to step out into the rain. Okay, so I'm not really a fan of the soft touch, but I do like the Breathe Ease because it kind of goes around of like raincoats, kind of like suffocating dogs, especially too if they have like a lot of fur and stuff like that. So it kind of like separates it as like kind of like handling a problem as well right there. So POV, your dog once hated wearing raincoats on rainy days, but now thanks to Breathe These, they can't wait to step out in the rain. I think that's something that's how I would like change it up a little bit.
All right.
And I would also look at your unique process, raincoats that pets love wearing. That's not a unique process. What makes your raincoats like for pets that love wearing, for example? What makes your raincoats, like what makes pets love your raincoats? What's the process that makes yours different? That's more of your unique process.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think that-
Jude, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the unique like selling point is just that the fabric is is very lightweighted and soft and breathable. It's nothing like the other brands in the market. So, but yeah, I think I need a better name.
Yeah, that's what I would be looking at. And that's also something we'll touch on in a second here as we wrap up, which is the naming. We didn't really talk about much about what type of name to use, but like obviously you want the name to be something they never heard of, but also too, you want the name to still kind of be like trendy, catchy, because if it sounds really weird, it's just not even gonna like capture people's attention. Okay, Jude, I want more energy, unique process, unique wild harvested algae called AFA. POV, you took wild harvested algae, now you have energy all day long, or now you have all day energy. Yep, that's correct. One thing is to handle objection in the mechanism name. So you took wild harvested algae. That actually makes me think this is just like algae doesn't have a good perceived like stigma in people's minds. Like the first thing I think of as algae is like the algae in a pool. It's just like that's disgusting. So you could look at like wild harvested. You could look at something that's like, where is it harvested? So like for example, Hawaiian harvested algae. Or like it's like harvested in like the Hawaiian Sea or something like that. It increases the perceived value a little bit and kind of gives it a little bit more of a positive impression because it's coming from a place that we all value. That's something like how we look at right there.
Also, the thing's actually certified organic by the ACO. So is that
Nice.
something I could add there, like maybe ACO certified wild harvested algae, or is it better just to say
Yeah,
Hawaii
so if it's
somewhere?
yeah, so like let's say for example, if it was harvested in Hawaii, I would lead with Hawaii over organic because what we're gonna do if we say organic, we're only gonna cater to the few people that value organic in that perspective right there. But other than that, I would lead with Hawaii because it increases the perceived value as well. And then you can also put on your sales page that's organic. That's also another key thing. All right, let's see. Desire, get organized from Philip. Unique process name surrounding pocket system. unique process, a pocket system for easy storage. Okay, Philip, you called out, you said your unique process name is as SPS or surrounding pocket system, but in your hook, you do POV, become an organized woman in less than 60 seconds with Converta. So your process name is completely different in your hook. I don't know if you changed it in the last second, but just want to make sure you point that out, that you didn't call it the key thing right there. All right, cool guys. So yeah, so overall good. Y'all did a very good job with these hooks and stuff. Again, a few clarifications. Obviously, the type of name you choose can also greatly impact you or negatively impact you as well. You want something that flows and that makes sense, and also too is different from your market and your competitors and everything. Key thing is none of your competitors are also pushing this, so it gives your product a new sense of feeling. That's a big thing. And if you have something that it's not different at all from your competition, like all of your competitors are doing it the same way, look at what Lucky Strikes did with cigarettes. All they did was just call out something that everyone's doing, but no one's calling it out, which was toasting the tobacco before it's going to cigarette. So what they did was they said, hey, Lucky Strikes, it's toasted. And that was their like unique identifier to make it seem new. So just want to clarify it right there. What I would be looking at next for you guys is now that you go in, I want you all to go test an ad using this unique process name. And I also want to highlight something here is in your ad or your product page, you need to highlight this mechanism as well. So if you're going to use something like you're going to call it this unique mechanism on the page itself or like your ad, you also need to call it out too on your product page. You don't just call it out on the ad and then people get to the product page and it's never mentioned again. So it needs to have that flow through the sales process so people understand what makes you different. And that way, when they compare you versus everyone else, they also see the mechanism being reinforced and how it's making your product different as well. So I do want to highlight that right there as that's going to make a big impact on your performance and to actually make this work. So we'll wrap up, do like 5 minutes really quick of just quick questions regarding today's lessons. Do you have any questions around today and how this can be applied to your ads?
Nick, a quick question about like you are talking about like coming up with a good name and everything. Would you something like this as a potential as a DCT to try like 3 different like basically names in a single creative or not really?
Yeah, that's a great question right there. So the way I would do it is I would do 1 DCT per name I test. That's just kind of typically how I do it. But you know, you're not technically wrong with doing like 1 DCT, 3 hooks and a different mechanism for each one. It's just the problem is that if you test a particular mechanism and then you don't call it out on the product page, it's like you led me with one thing and I never see it again. That's just one of the things you have to look at. You could use it as an initial test just to see what's getting the best traction and then go kind of format your funnel to also include that.
Got you. To be able to do that, then it wouldn't be a DCT, right? Like you would run it as like 3 ads in an ad set and then see
you
the
can
winner.
do a DCT. You can do a DCT and just do a breakdown to see which video got the most spin.
Got you.
Yeah. Let's see. Levi X, would you do a VSL around that for the agency lander? Yeah, so you would. So it's like, for example, like Levi, I know yours was, let me pull it up. You learn empathetic storytelling and now your store does 50K a days. So what I would do is if I'm running this to get like Shopify clients, for example, I would have like a 4 to 5 second video ad that highlights a few case studies and how they all use empathetic storytelling. And then I would provide all of the information in the VSL. And when people clicked on the VSL, I would go into here's how to leverage empathetic storytelling. So yes. Let's see, Jude, would this be solution aware? For your example, Jude, yes, that is solution aware. They want more energy. Cool. Any other last questions before we wrap up?
So if I shortened my hook, so like if I was like, you've got this handmade Alcantara phone case and now you're tired of the non-stop compliments. So it doesn't really call out the audience, but do you think that's fine? Or like, should I show that in the visuals or should I just not worry about it?
So it kind of comes down to, are we calling out the audience? Because who's our audience? The supercar owners. So there's one way, which is just showing them the visuals, right? You know, that's one way. And second way is the second thing to think about is, do we even need to call out the audience now? Like if we've never called out the audience now, do we even need to call it out? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.